Coming up on News2, did you get the chance to sample a little local cuisine at today's food fair? Be sure to tune in for the mouth-watering highlights from Emancipation Garden, as well as a word from the honoree, Alvin Turnbull. Also, WAPA issues a scam alert to caution business customers about unauthorized telephone calls from an unknown party. Plus, more from the Governor's Conference on Crime and the latest Crimestoppers Report. You can help officers solve crimes with your tips and earn a reward in the process. Hello, welcome. Thank you for joining us on this edition of News2. I'm Sandra Gumansing, topping on Newscast. Before people go out in droves to Juve Thursday morning, they first flock to the event that's a favorite for food and culture lovers, the Carnival Food Fair 2015. It was a packed event, so we've heard. News2's April Knight was at the scene and brings the sights and sounds.
It was hot, it was humid, but that didn't stop a throng of people to flock to Emancipation Garden Wednesday for the 2015 Carnival Food and Cultural Fair.
We want to acknowledge all of the vendors that are here today and the work that you're doing, and we want to encourage everyone to participate and support the vendors.
This year, the food fair was named after Alvin Turnbull, a regular and mainstay in the Carnival Food Fair over the years.
Thank you, everybody. Good afternoon to everybody. I want to thank the Carnival Committee for honoring me. I would like you to have a safe and prosperous Carnival.
Food vendors were a huge hit, and they were everywhere.
You see these stuff, what you see in this food fair, probably one time a year. So you get your stuff, put them in the freezer, put them in the freezer, so a couple months from now, you turn them out, you eat them.
The garden was packed with residents and tourists who were literally getting a taste of the Virgin Islands. People could be seen walking around or sitting with drinks and plates of food. And it's not just the food. At the fair, you could find everything from jewelry to bags, handmade arts and crafts made from indigenous materials, and of course, plants and produce.
They get jewelry and they get craft and bags, hats, and jewelry. They like to wear jewelry, but they want to look special, they want to look nice. Hopefully we have a better sale later on. We open and pray, but I get a couple sale, thank God.
From the food to the culture, it was indeed culture to the extreme at the 2015 Food Fair. Reporting for News2, I'm April Knight.
Well, Food Fair honoree, my friend Mully, Alvin Turnbull, was somewhat shy and very humble, but here's the Carnival Committee to tell us more about why he deserved this year's Food Fair honors.
Alvin made 15 plaques his first year at the Virgin Islands Carnival Cultural Fair as a vendor and was assigned a spot by Enid Ball Public Library. The sun was very hot that day, and he had to borrow a table from a friend. He didn't have any shade, chair, or tablecloth. Alvin gives thanks to God for the vendor next to him that had an extra umbrella and stool and offered to share. His second year, Alvin rented a tent and bought his own chair and tablecloth. And by the third year, he had purchased what he needed and was very well prepared. Alvin Turnbull is extremely proud that every item he sells is locally sourced and created.
Well, the preteen trap was a hit. It drew many to the Rothschild Francis Market Square to the Children's Village. Then the senior citizens hit the street with a Quail Bay tramp. Now, many are preparing for Rosa time, Juve warm-up at 12:30 a.m. at the Village. Then at 4 a.m. tomorrow morning, it's Juve time with Cool Session, Volume, Styly, Jammers HP, Poison. On Friday, the Children's Parade kicks off at 10 a.m., then the Adults Parade on Saturday, and then at 9 p.m. Saturday evening, the fabulous fireworks display over Shalamali Harbor. Then be sure to check out the Calypso Spectacular for the last lap at the Village at 10 p.m. Meanwhile, here is who we can expect at the Village the next couple of nights. Starting from tonight, a steel band, TMG from St. Croix, Imaginations Brass, Fusion and Small Axe Band. Thursday, DJ Pete, Poison, Triple K, Crossfire from Barbados. Friday, DJ Country, Cool Sessions Brass, Pressure, Beanie Man, Conscience. And then Saturday, Rudy Live, Caribbean Music Farm, Calypso Show, and Sherwin Winchester from Trinidad closes out the last lap. Be sure to tune in to CBS TV2 for the best live coverage of the parades in the territory, 10 a.m. on Friday again, and then on Saturday morning. And in addition, you can watch the parades online. The link to the website will be posted on our NEWS2 Facebook page and at cbstv2vi.com. Also, be sure to tune in to NEWS2 on Monday. We'll have a wrap-up of all the carnival parades and a look back on this special carnival celebration. Well, several notices for closure as carnival celebrations peak on St. Thomas. Government offices and agencies closed at noon Wednesday and will reopen on Monday. All public schools closed for the rest of the week, also to resume on Monday. The Supreme and Superior Courts will operate for a limited time on Friday, while the District Court will be closed. WAPA starts closing Wednesday and will resume normal hours on Monday as well. The post office will hold regular lobby hours this week. And admin leave began for many. The governor authorized commissioners and agency heads to grant administrative leave to non-essential employees for Carnival. St. Thomas and St. John, many enjoyed some time off today to attend that food fair. Then on Thursday, April 30th for Juve from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Now, territory-wide, administrative leave is granted from Friday, May 1st for the Children's Parade from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Now, this leave granted does not apply to essential employees and employees on a regular or rotating shift. Employees on annual or sick leave immediately preceding or immediately following the time period administrative leave is granted will not receive admin leave. The territory's police force will be getting a lot more attention next week, and not just the VI police, but every arm of the law enforcement community. Governor Kenneth Mapp is making good on his promise to revamp the police department, and that begins with assessing the agency. NEWS2's Erica Parsons has the story.
The VI Police Academy graduates at least one class a year in each district when funding allows. Recruits train for 6 months before they sit the exam to become police officers. In Governor Kenneth Mapp's State of the Territory address on January 26th, he promised to do a full assessment of the entire law enforcement community. That includes Port Authority Police and Planning and Natural Resources and Licensing and Consumer Affairs officers. Next week, the group responsible for turning around the New York Police Department under former New York Mayor Rudy Giuliani will be here in the territory.
We contracted with that group, who's now in the private sector, who will begin their assessment work here on May the 4th. It will take a number of weeks going through all of our law enforcement entities. We have a lot of resource needs, technology, training, investigative services, intelligence gathering, on and on and on. And they will be here doing this assessment and working closely with our police commissioner and the chiefs in terms of going forward and doing this.
The governor mentioned the challenges the VIPD has just in recruiting and keeping officers. He said a police class may have 40 or 50 recruits and graduate 20. Within a year, only 4 or 5 of those officers are still with the department. The group doing the assessments will be charged with finding out why that happens. That's only one of their target areas. Once all the assessments are complete, the governor says they will develop a plan to determine how to move forward. Erica Parsons, NEWS2.
The governor's plans for the department also includes partnering local police with a major mainland police department for training and mentoring. He also hopes to acquire federal resources to help fight crime. Turning our attention overseas, Baltimore is slowly getting back to normal. Many are still frustrated over the unexplained death of a man in police custody, but it appears a week-long curfew is helping keep the violence in check and focus people on a peaceful solution. Demonstrators in Baltimore held a peaceful protest today in support of Freddie Gray, who died from an unexplained spinal injury in police custody. There is still a heavy police presence on the streets, but many residents are going about their business. Schools reopened and the Baltimore Orioles returned to action, but in the interest of safety, no fans were allowed in the stadium. And keeping our eye on the economy, here's the New York Stock Exchange with our stock market watch. As we can see there, everything down. The Dow 74, NASDAQ 31, S&P 7. Coming up on News 2, WAPA issues a scam alert to caution business customers about unauthorized telephone calls from an unknown party. Details coming up next. A St. Thomas man has been indicted on charges of threatening a witness. A federal grand jury in St. Croix on Tuesday, April 28, returned a 7-count indictment against Camoy Francis, 24 of St. Thomas, charging him with transmission of threat to injure, possession of prison contraband, and threatening a witness. Francis is scheduled to make his initial appearance before U.S. Magistrate Judge George Cannon on May 29th. According to the indictment, a testifying witness in a murder case in the Superior Court on St. Croix received several threatening messages on January 28th and January 30th to 31st, 2014. The threats were received through a Facebook account and warned that if any of the defendants were found guilty, the witness and members of the witness's family would be killed. Francis faces a maximum sentence of 5 years or 1 year in prison. If convicted of threatening a witness, he faces a maximum of 10 years or a $2,000 fine or both. Local businesses have been the targets of a plan to get money for WAPA payments. WAPA officials say those solicitations are a scam. Acting Executive Director Julio Reimer says they've received a number of calls from their business customers who say they were threatened with disconnection. The business would get a call from someone identifying himself as Edwin Lopez. Then they would be directed to purchase a prepaid business financial credit card, download $1,000, and then call Lopez with a number to stop disconnection. Director Reimer says WAPA doesn't have anyone calling customers, and the scammers' actions are not authorized by the authority. A 25-year-old man was arrested last week for possession of an unlicensed firearm. According to police, a special ops and canine unit made a traffic stop near the Frederick Lutheran Church in St. Thomas, Friday night. The vehicle's passenger fled the car and ran east on foot. Police gave chase and apprehended him near Roosevelt Park. They found an unlicensed gun concealed in the back of his pants. The man was identified as Dwayne Foy, and again, he faces charges of possessing an unlicensed gun. A St. John restaurant was ablaze Tuesday morning. Firefighters from 2 companies responded to fight the fire that was called in just after 2 Tuesday at Morgan's Mango restaurant. Officials say the wooden structure was fully engulfed in flames when firefighters arrived on the scene. 4 units were able to contain the blaze within minutes, and no nearby structures were damaged by that fire. So far, investigators have not given the cause of the fire. Count on 2 to keep you updated. Now, if you can assist police in some of their investigation and earn a reward, remember to call Crime Stoppers at 1-800-222-TIPS. That's 8477. You can also log on to their website at www.crimestoppersusvi.org. Here's this week's Crime Stoppers Report. Police say on St. Croix on Tuesday, July 1st, 2014 at 10:30 p.m., officers responded to a call in Estate Montbijou of shots being fired. Upon arrival, they discovered a male identified as 27-year-old Jesus Brown laying on the ground between 2 parked vehicles. He had been shot multiple times. He was pronounced dead later that evening at the hospital. Over on St. John on April 24th at approximately 6:40 a.m., officers were dispatched to Calabash Boom Mini Mart in Coral Bay regarding a burglary. Upon arrival, the owner stated that he locked and secured the business at approximately 10 p.m. on Thursday night and returned to the store to discover it had been broken into approximately 6:40 a.m. on Friday morning. $200 in cash and an ATM machine were stolen. On St. Thomas on Thursday, April 23rd, about 10 p.m., detectives were called to the hospital because there was a victim who had been shot in the shoulder. The shooting occurred in the area of Contant Knolls. If you know something about this shooting, call Crime Stoppers. They say continue to help make the community a safer place to live by submitting information on these or any other crimes at www.crimestoppersusvi.org or by calling 1-800-222-TIPS. You can also text USVI plus your message to crimes at 274-637. Be sure to stick around. Your News 2 AccuWeather forecast comes your way next.